we came from the point of view like we felt sanitary pads would be accessible and people would be able to buy. So the issues are out there, and I think that social media lends itself as a platform that we could use to drive these conversations.
Check your private period. It's actually an inside joke for our online community. When a lot of people saw check your private period. So when we want to gossip in a WhatsApp group, we just say check your private. But now we're talking about menstruation, we're talking about reproductive health, we're talking about sexual health. So it kind of fits. Actually fits.
And I'm here at the event of the Padman Africa, and it's been a very eventful day, and they had a very wonderful outing today. Some of the persons who attended the event are going to be talking about what they learned, what they discussed, and the outcome. What are the resolutions? And here is one of the eminent persons who attended today. I say hi to people at home.
Yeah, hello, my name is Mohammed Abdullahi. I'm into public relations. Yeah.
So today, what was discussed at this event?
It's just all about getting awareness for the issue of free period items for girls, particularly the underprivileged girls. We discussed about gathering data, going around Nigeria and elsewhere to gather data about the actual number of girls who are unable to attend school because of the issues of periods and so on and so forth, so that we can present that to stakeholders. Stakeholders now, I mean both government and the private sector, in order to tackle this issue.
One would wonder, the use of pad relates to female. How does it concern you, the men, more than the females themselves?
That's a very good question, but I would say whatsoever affects the opposite gender, directly or indirectly, affects the other gender. For instance, I have a wife at home, and if I don't make conscious effort to understand when she's on a period and her moods and so on and so forth, because definitely to most of them, when they're on their periods, when they're on their cycle, their mood change. Probably sometimes they are unable to do what they do on a regular day. So if you don't make conscious effort, whether you are not even married, if she's your sister or your friend, you keep having issues because you don't understand your partner.
My name is Ladi Ogunshaye, marketing manager at Steff Financial. I'm a period advocate. I'm an advocate for sane environment, sane practices.
So what is the essence of today's program on period and pad for females?
I think the essence of today's program is for us to come together and encourage people, put word out there, let people know that this is no longer a thing about the females alone. The men should get involved as well, as much as they should know about it, get informed, get educated, become advocates as well. Not just know about it, talk to other people around you about menstruation, about menstrual health, about menstrual hygiene, about safe menstruation, about reusable pads, and many other topics like that.
Oluwatosin Ayinde, and I'm the head HR and admin, Padman Africa. So what I do specifically with Padman Africa is to ensure that we get the best people on board to help us in achieving our goal of ending period poverty. That's our dream, to end period poverty all across nations in Africa, and to ensure that in all places, wherever you find there's a restroom, hotels, airplanes, wherever, the Padman, the period pad is found everywhere.
When we talk about period poverty, we're not talking about you people here most of the time, because someone said, a lot of people have said online, end tax on periods. I mean, someone who can afford 400 naira and you remove the tax on pads and it's now 300 naira, the girl in the slum will still not be able to afford it. So when we talk about end period poverty, we're talking about the root causes of poverty, bad economy, the economy of the country, the basic amenities that people cannot even afford.
Okay, Social Media Week, we just use this platform to showcase our project to the world, in the social media world. I read an article, was it last week? It talks about men owning the social media, the internet, like 82%, and I'm like, 82% and 38%. So you're saying that men still rules. No, it's fine. I'm not a feminist. It's fine. But now, let's take a look at it. It's time for men to start talking about period. it's time for men to talk about menstruation. So if 82% of them actually rules via the internet by telling stories, if we can just have 30% of men do this, you can imagine the impact it's going to create.
Government has to look into the root causes of period poverty, which is the bad economy, poor livelihood, and also they cannot afford to access these menstrual materials. And also there has to be some policies that can make assessing menstrual hygiene materials better. And then also, yes, we can, if the government gives a better environment for local producers to, you know, to produce this sustainable clothes pads, yes, it's going to be a good one. And also we need education. The public is misinformed about menstruation. Menstruation is seen as a taboo, as a filthy thing. Nobody should talk about it, but there should be, you know, an open field for people to talk about these things so that we know the exact issues. And then this conversation should move past online and just virtual communications. NGOs, individuals, SDG champions should go into the communities, find out issues, because these issues are prominent in the underserved communities.
I'm going to play the devil's advocate. Yeah, everyone, because they're all passionate about the pad industry. So I want to find out about sustainability. Now I'm thinking figures. We have a population in Nigeria of 180 million people. And of that percentage, 49.3 or so, I'm not sure, this is 2016, are female. Now, the process of menstruation is something that happens to a female from the time you begin to see your period. Let me say 15, some people earlier, up till menopause. So that's about how many years of your life. Now you want the government with that population to fund pads for that period of a female's life. One, I want to know how sustainable is this?
You know, there is a saying that condom is free everywhere. Mostly in hotels. If you go to hotels, if you go to places, why is pad not free? Sex is optional. You can decide to have sex or not. It's optional and condom is free. But period, it's part of a woman. It's part of us. It's not a disease, it's not a taboo. That's what makes us women.
What has Padman Africa been doing with respect to this?
Okay, that is why we're trying to make pad available for these girls. Pad keeps increasing in price. You see always 450. How much is this parents? How much is their salary that they're going to buy a pad of 450 for a child? And you know each pad takes 8 hours. So you can imagine how many these girls need to change. We went to a school a few weeks back, and some told us they use tissue. Some says they use clothes. It's painful. It's not hygienic. It affects their health too. And some even stay at home. So we're trying to put these girls back in school. Research says that a lot of girls stay back at home because of menstruation. But you know the truth, when you educate a child, a girl child, you've educated the family, the whole world. So we need to put these girls in school. We are calling on everybody to help us put a period pause, at least one, in each places. Buy one, give one, for every girl out there. Mostly those that can afford it, the underserved girls. In our period pauses, we have few things. Okay. We have a hand wash. We have a sanitizer. We have a period tracker. This period tracker helps these girls to track their period. They know when the next period is coming, so they are prepared. They don't get stain unnecessarily. They know when it's coming. Because most times you hear these girls say, I didn't know my period was coming. This is what period tracker is going to do for them. Okay, we also have the pad itself, the major challenge. So right now we're also calling on pad companies. We don't have a specific pad we use. We just buy pads from all over, any kind of pad. So we're also calling on pad companies to partner with us so that we can get pads available to these girls. We want to be the bridge between the donors and the underserved girls. That's the idea. Then we have the pocket tissue to help them out. Our handbook is coming out, but we have a copy, but it's not here yet. The handbook talks about what Padman is, what our mission is, our dream. We hope that in a few years' time we'll be able to touch at least 100,000 girls from the rural area.
So it is important we men get involved so that, one, we can make legislations that will protect women's when it comes to the period, because we came to talk about the state of the period. Somebody said, if possible, remove tax, make it tax free, and also subsidize it. I think it should be free, not just subsidizing it, because if the government can subsidize drugs for HIV, I don't see the reason why they can't do same for PAD. And I think the female health, you know, is when it comes to PAD, I think it's even cheaper compared to HIV. So I feel the government can do a lot in terms of subsidizing it or possibly making it free because of rural dwellers who can't afford it, because they are the most people who suffer it. And also it is important we know about it so that those who are heads of corporate can make provision of this in their restrooms, so that when women, especially those having heavy flow at the time of the month, are experiencing that, they can easily just go into the toilet, have a change and go back to work. It's going to save man hour, it's going to affect the company's profits at the end of the day. So I can go on, I can keep going on.
But there's no period to this if you continue. So let's put a period.
Every girl, the moment you start seeing that period, it becomes a way of life. It's not the most comfortable thing to wear, but as much as possible, it is something, it is a necessity that you just have to wear. It is something that you cannot do without. It's something that if you don't wear, you get yourself stained, and you don't want to go around people telling you, oh, your dress is stained, or you're at a meeting, they say, oh my God, you're stained, and then you start looking for sanitary towels. That's why it is important for every girl, every woman to always, if you check my bag, at least you will find one, if not two, in my bag, because it's like a public embarrassment if you're going out and then you get stained and then someone tells you start looking for a scarf to tie yourself and all that. No, it's not something that is good.
If we are going to say government should remove PAD on or tax on PAD, so we can as well say they should just remove tax on everything. I mean, for me personally, I don't think it's realistic. It's not realistic. So what I would just say, I mean, just like somebody has suggested during the session, is we should look at other means, other avenues where people can easily make use of PAD. I mean, not the regular PAD, but looking at it from the point of view of what people do before now. Before the advent of PAD, people menstruate, of course, and what do they use? They use alternative methods. They use clothes, they use towels, they cut towels and all of that. So let's look at something sustainable, as long as there is no health implication. And from research so far, I mean, the few people that have spoken, and doctors have spoke sometimes ago, there is no health implication in these things. So let's just look for alternative methods, and that's the only way I think is sustainable.
No, poverty, most of these girls, they cannot even afford to even buy themselves a pad. So from there, they need to be, moving around to meet the guys, and the guys will just use that as an advantage, just to have sex with them. And the sex, in most cases, are not protected one. So it's one of the reasons why, when even the prevalence rate is dropping from other age groups, so among young people, it still continue to do what? Increase. And the girls is more among the young girls more.
And when we say not having access to this part, how do we even get corporate to see it as an essence that all their bedrooms are stocked with these supplies? So airlines, you go on a long flight, you want to be able to go into the bedroom. And just a few minutes ago now, and we say it's not just for the underprivileged. Even girls sometimes want extra money. So a lady now just add a little stain on her. Now she knows it's time for the month. And she doesn't have pads. She had to reach out to one of the pads that were just donated. Not that she cannot afford to go and look for it to buy, but the fact that we needed readiness. That's why we created the period process. So the period process is handy. You can always have your pad in it. You can also know. And we're also saying that, okay, how do we call pad prostitution? That's why the idea of the HIV/AIDS thing was also included. So with the Sabi HIV campaign is to making sure that girls who suffer as a result of not being able to afford these pads, get into pad prostitution, cannot afford these things, and fall victims of the guys in quote who take cognizance of the fact that they don't have informations and they cannot do all of these things. So we're saying that everyone should be involved, everyone should be responsible. Responsible tourism is also key. So tourism boards, airlines, hotels. So go to every hotel. I go for a training in a particular brand and I see lots of condoms. So we want to be able to see girls accessing those bedrooms in different banking halls And not just for them, we want men to also be aware of this information. What is period? What are the days? Let them know so that they can communicate with their daughters and girlfriend. And it's a thing for the media also to push this conversation so that everyone knows this is what we want to do. And the panelists have been able to talk about it. We've also seen the essence that, okay, how much money do we need to put into it? How much investment do we need from impact investors, from grants? So we are calling openly for donations. And donations is that you see it as a corporate social investment, not just charity, so that you know that you have a stake in the life of Amaka, Ada, Chioma, Ngozi, Alima, in every region of the country, both here in Nigeria and across Africa and in the global world. So let's not just be spectators. Let's see how we can be involved.
Actually, we know that women had the dead end of this HIV and AIDS thing, and because sanitary pad is something the woman uses every month, is a must because we have to menstruate every month. And as young women, as we adolescents and young people, some of them may not have as money to buy this sanitary pad, which can lead them to engage in all these sexual immoralities, which can prone them to HIV and AIDS. Yes.
So tell us about this Sabi AIDS and what's it about?
Yes, Sabi HIV.
What do you intend to achieve?
Yes, Sabi HIV is a campaign for adolescents and young people between the age of 15 and 24 years old, because we realize that in Nigeria now the highest incidence of HIV and AIDS is among the adolescent and young people. And now we now say that how are we going to address this? And the reason why we do that, because we know that adolescent and young people, they face four issues. Number one, they don't know their HIV status, and those that know their HIV status, some of them don't even know how to use condom. Those that know how to, they don't use it correctly.
And thank you, Padman. Thank you, Nigeria. Please help a girl child. We need you.
Well done. Period.
Period.
Period.